Assalamu alaikum and good day. Let me start my presentation. My name is Abdulqani Hassan and my matric number is T251A357 from the Master in Business Intelligence and Analytics program or MIIT class. So my study is titled Students' Acceptance of Virtual Reality Learning Tools at IIUM Gombak Campus. The roles of immersion, perceived ease of use, and barrier experience. So imagine being able to enter a lab, practice a dangerous procedure, and visit a historical site, or participate in a business crisis simulation without leaving the classroom. This is the learning potential of virtual reality. The central question is what makes a student willing to accept virtual reality as a serious academic learning tool? This presentation is organized into 6 connected parts. I will begin by explaining why virtual reality acceptance matter in higher education. I will then present the research problem and the gap identified in recent studies. Next, I will explain the research question, objectives and hypotheses, followed by the literature supporting the proposed model. After that, I will present the conceptual framework and methodology. Finally, I will discuss the significance, contribution, limitation, future work, and main references. The presentation follow a simple flow. Why the study matter, what is missing, how it will be investigated, and what value it may provide. Virtual reality creates an interactive three-dimensional environment where students can observe, practice, and make decisions. For example, a medical student could explore a three-dimensional human heart. An engineering student could practice operating expensive machinery without risking injury or damaging equipment. A business student could enter a virtual bedroom and manage a simulated company crisis. However, providing virtual reality equipment does not guarantee meaningful learning. A student may remove the headset after 2 minutes because the controls are confusing, the experience feels unrealistic, or the academic purpose is unclear. Therefore, successful implementation should be based on student evidence, not only excitement about new technology. And the research problem is that university may invest in virtual reality, but student acceptance cannot be assumed. Consider two students using the same virtual lab. The first student feels fully present, understand the controls, and enjoy the activity. The second student struggles to move, feel disconnected, and need constant assistance. Although the technology is identical, their willingness to use it again will be very different. Current literature also leaves for gaps. The value hours are sometimes studied separately. Findings about ease of use are inconsistent. Evidence from IIUM Gombak is limited, and exposure screening is not always clearly explained. This study addresses these gaps by testing three predictors together in one local model. The research question, objectives, hypothesis, and analysis method are directly aligned. The first question asks about the current level of student acceptance. This will be answered using descriptive statistics. The next three questions examine whether immersion, perceived ease of use, and barrier experience are individually related to acceptance. These relationships will be tested using Pearson correlation. The final question asks which factors remain important when all three are considered together. This will be examined using multiple regression. An easy way to understand this is that correlation asks, do these variables move together? Regression asks which factors still matter when the others are controlled. The main theoretical foundation is Technology Acceptance Model, or term TAM. TAM explains that people are more likely to use technology when they believe it is useful and easy to operate. A simple example is mobile banking. Even if an application offers valuable services, users may reject it when the menus are confusing or transactions are difficult to complete. Virtual reality adds another dimension, immersion. The student is not simply looking at a screen but may feel present inside the learning environment. Prior experience is also included because familiarity can influence confidence. Like driving, someone with previous experience usually adapts faster than a person using the controls for the first time. Recent literature support the variable, but the findings are not completely consistent. Fink and colleagues found that ease of use and presence were connected with usability in an educational virtual reality field trip. HSU reported that immersion positively influenced behavioral intention in virtual reality supported language learning. However, Al-Adwan and colleagues found that perceived ease of use did not directly predict intention in their metaverse model. This disagreement is academically valuable because it shows that ease of use may matter differently across countries, platforms, and learning activities. Malaysian research has examined institutional readiness, but this does not directly explain how IIUM Gombak students respond. Therefore, a local student-level study is justified. This conceptual framework presents the proposed relationship clearly. The independent variables are immersion, perceived ease of use, and prior virtual reality experience. The dependent variable is students' acceptance of virtual reality learning tools. Immersion means feeling involved and present. Perceived ease of use means that the controls and instructions are manageable. Prior experience refers to familiarity gained through academic activities, demonstrations, training, or personal use. Acceptance includes intention to use, willingness to continue, willingness to recommend, and support for suitable course integration. These factors can be imagined as three doors leading to acceptance. The study will examine which door provides the strongest pathway for IIUM students. The study will use a quantitative explanatory cross-sectional survey. The research process follows a clear sequence. First, the literature identifies the constructs and gaps. Second, questionnaire items are prepared. Third, experts review the instrument, followed by a pilot study. After necessary improvement, the survey will be distributed to eligible IIUM Gombak students. The collected data will then be screened and analyzed using SPSS or equivalent software. This design is appropriate because the study measures current perception and statistical relationships at one point in time. However, because it is cross-sectional, the result will show association and prediction, not a definite cause and effect. The target population consisted of undergraduate and postgraduate students at IIUM Gombak who are at least 18 years old and have sufficient direct exposure to virtual reality. Exposure screening is necessary because someone who has never properly experienced virtual reality cannot accurately evaluate immersion or ease of use. It will be like asking someone who has never flown to evaluate the comfort of an aircraft cabin. The questionnaire contains a demographic and exposure question, items measuring the three predictors, and items measuring acceptance. Responses will use a 5-point Likert scale. A pilot study involving approximately 20 to 30 students will test clarity, completion time, and preliminary reliability before the main survey. The analysis plan is linked directly to the research question. Descriptive statistics will show the overall acceptance level. Pearson correlation will examine the separate relationship between each predictor and acceptance. Multiple regression will identify which variable makes a unique contribution when the other predictors are considered. For example, prior experience may initially appear important, but after immersion and ease of use are added to the model, its contribution may become weaker. Expert review will support content validity, while cron pages alpha will assess internal consistency. Participation will be voluntary. Response will remain confidential, and the study will not collect names, matrix numbers, or unnecessary sensitive info. These are the main academic and methodological sources supporting the proposed study. They provide evidence on technology acceptance, immersion, ease of use, video experience, research design, and statistical analysis. To conclude, the main message of this proposal is that purchasing virtual reality equipment is not the same as achieving successful learning. Universities need to understand how students experience the technology, how manageable they find it, and whether previous exposure shapes their willingness to use it. By examining these factors at IIUM Gombak, the study can support more informed, student-centered, and evidence-based decisions about immersive learning. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And that's the conclusion.